up, guys? It's Desro. Welcome to Remax, episode 53, September 15, 2015. That was a lot of 15s.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, you made it. Sup,
I'm
guys?
Back. Did we start
Desro,
yet?
welcome to... Yeah, we're started. So yeah, guys, it's September 15. A lot happened in the last week with WCS, the cinematic reveal, also the release date for Legacy of the Void. And so, yeah, we'll be talking about it. First off, let's start with the intros. Mo, what have you been up to in the last week?
Yo, man, I've been watching WCS like as much as I could, and streaming a little bit in between and so on. And now it's just back to streaming, man. Legacy.
Nice. What about you, Chris? What have you been up to in the last week?
I went to the Pro-Am thing that was in Red Bull DC, hung out with Moose Skills, Henry, QXC, Vibe, LotV, all good folks, Cats as well. Other than that, I just got back from DC 2 days ago, like the night of 2 days ago, and I've been practicing since then because I leave tomorrow morning for DC again to play in the.
Nice.
The
Was
Red
it
Bull
weird that there was like a one-day event?
I mean, it was okay. I think like the amateurs viewed it as like, you know, this is going to be a fun thing. We live here anyways, kind of situation. And the pros were like, hey, this is going to be a cool event. You know, we're getting, you know, paid stuff to come out and just play, you know, a bunch of fun games. We get our flights and hotels taken care of, and, you know, and it's like a little mini vacation. Red Bull, you know, pays for a nice dinner. You know, they got catering and everything. So
That's really cool. That's really
so people just view it positively, even if it's only 1 day.
I see. That's cool. As for myself, I went to...
Oh, sorry.
Yeah?
Desro,
Yes?
what have you been up to?
Well, I went to Los Angeles to go to the Barcraft. Blizzard invited me and a bunch of others to just go drink at 6 a.m. No, actually, they started serving drinks at 9 a.m. But, yeah, I just went to a Barcraft. I had, like... we had a dinner with, like, Mike Morham, and it was just really, really cool experience.
Free drinks.
Yeah, free drinks, man. Free food, free drinks. Yeah, it was an expensive.
That seems problematic. They start serving drinks at 6 a.m. and there's
Yeah.
free drinks. Like,
Yeah,
Jesus.
no, but they couldn't serve until 9, and they had like very basic bar. But I asked the guy to do like a homemade Long Island. He just was missing a few ingredients. It was fun.
Do they have like food too for free?
Yeah, they had food.
Dang.
They had food for everyone, and then if you were a fan, you had like one free drink ticket. But
see.
we had unlimited bar upstairs. There was like popcorn. There was all sorts of things. It was really nice for like fans around.
What kind of food? Just popcorn? Or, like,
They
real
had
food?
popcorn. They had bagels. They had berries. They had croissant. They had like a lot of stuff, man. So that was just really cool. And it was my first time in downtown LA. Dude, there's so many different weird people. You're like people like looking like movie stars, and then people looking like homeless, like they're deranged, and you're afraid to be next to them. It was an interesting experience. Yes. So
Is
anyway,
that what people thought about you?
no,
Or-
I went to a barber with Yoka on Saturday. I got a haircut, and
This show was one of the rich people.
you guys, all right. So anyway, let's talk StarCraft, guys. WCS Season 3 Finals happened this weekend, and I think it's like first time ever that we ever had such a good final. Some people on Reddit were saying like the casters hyped it up too much, but I don't think you understand. Like a foreigner final hasn't happened in like 3 years. It's the first time we take over the Koreans, and the first time foreigner wins something that big. It was pretty incredible. Lil Bo ended up beating Mana, by the way, spoilers, 4-2. Also defeating Hydra in the round of 8 with an amazing comeback. That's just like such a huge thing in itself. Huck, did you catch any of the match, or you were just away?
No, I watched some of them. It's
finals?
just yeah. Well, some of the other games too. I was at Red Bull, so I would watch like in between games and stuff.
Cool.
It was very close. Like Hydra almost beat him. Hydra honestly should have beat him, from what I saw at least. But yeah, the reason it was so hype and it was so good was because foreigners won. You know, like the games were pretty decent as well. Some were good, some were bad. But I mean, anytime you have a foreigner winning a big tournament like that, it's going to be big news.
Yeah. Polt losing to 4GG 3-1. Mo, do you think that's a fluke?
No, not necessarily. Like I would definitely put 4GG ahead of Holt. That was actually one of the few series that I actually didn't see, which is ironic since it's a TVT.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
It wasn't that funny.
No, I mean like you would think you would like put an alarm clock. Or,
I'm
like,
just fucking with you.
all right, you motherfucker. Zanster, your teammate, ended up losing 2-3 to Lilbo. It was very emotional. Like, did you see how crushed he was after he lost the final game?
I
don't think I saw every single game, but in general, like I was just kind of pissed while I was watching that. It's just the same shit over and over. Like he just like fucking just took a third Nexus, built stalkers, built sentries, attacked and killed Sensor. It just felt like I was watching
that series was
same
very
game
close
over
as
and
well.
over again. And I was like, oh, what can Sensor do, right? And it's like Lil Boy just mixing up like 2 base, 3 base, and it's the same shit all the time.
Yeah, the game on Iron or Cactus Valley with the hallucinated Archons, a lot of people were upset at that. It's like 8 hallucinated Archons, the Ultras and Lynx can even get on top of the Stalkers and Sentries. So it was a good thing to beat Protoss.
Yeah, that fight was pretty huge. Like Theo told me, like we were Skyping during the time, he thought that Sanster was actually gonna win that fight, but
Until the Archons
they
showed up?
told me that like he messed up Fungals or Blinding Cloud or something like that, and that's actually why Sanster ended up losing on Cactus Valley, which is unfortunate.
That was very close too. It was 3-2, right?
Yeah, 3-2.
Yeah, 3-2.
So it could have easily been a Zanster versus Mana final. How bad?
Easily.
Like that would have been so weird. Little Bo like could have had the chance to make BlizzCon and misses it out by 1 game. That would have been pretty crazy.
Yeah. You guys realize Lilbo made $45,000 in the last 3 months with WCS second place and first place. That's pretty incredible, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
What a time to be alive. Mana always has been good, but not really consistent, I guess. Like he's always had like ups and downs, like winning in 2011, then having good results in 2012. But since then, it's been pretty like okay, I guess. And then it was this big weekend, beating Petrius, which is not
Petrius?
like Petrius, yeah.
Petrius?
Yeah, Petrius.
Petrius?
Patrius.
Petrius.
Patronus. Like the Harry
Anyways.
Potter. All right, go on.
I was cheering for Mana in the final versus Little Bo.
Really?
I feel
Why?
like because in general, I'll always cheer for the person that has one less. You know, like kind of spread the wealth kind of thing. And then on top of that, Mana's been around since like Brood War days. You know, he's played for such a long time. He's had like not as many results as I felt like, you know, maybe he deserved for the amount of work he put in. So I was cheering for him. Plus, no, that's about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but Mada is on Liquid. He probably gets a fuck ton of money anyway. So
I don't know about fuck ton of money.
You think he makes
But-
it rain on them hoes?
Nah.
No.
yes, yes, like Liquid EDA, you get everything.
Do you know how much
Right.
the Liquid guys get salary-wise?
Maybe, perhaps. Anyway, I was cheering for Lil Bob, but like I didn't care too much who was gonna win the finals. Like it would have been such a huge story for Mana to win there, like in his home country and everything. So it would have actually been like a really
But at
sick
this-
storyline.
But at the same time, Little Bo making BlizzCon is huge too, because that's
Yeah,
his
that's
like
us.
only chance, and if he loses, then it's
And
out.
I think like for the moment while we were watching the finals, like it would have been so huge for like that event if Mana won. But looking at it now, like looking at it like in hindsight, is of course like better for Lil Bao to win. So you get to see, you know, one other
Foreigner.
story over at BlizzCon.
I honestly wonder when Blizzard started WCS if they wanted one foreigner per BlizzCon. Like, is that their goal here? Because I feel like it would be so much better if there was like, you know, 4 to 8 foreigners and then, you know, like 4 to 8 top Koreans. that compete at BlizzCon. It feels so anticlimactic now. If like obviously everybody's gonna tune in and watch Little Bo's games, right? But if Little Bo gets knocked out like at the round of whatever 16, then it's gonna be like, oh, okay, just another Korea tournament. Like obviously any diehard fans still gonna watch. Like I'll watch it. Everybody that's a pro is gonna watch it. But at the same time, I just feel like if he gets knocked out in the round of 16, it's just gonna be like, oh, okay.
They could.
Personally, I think that's pretty okay for BlizzCon to be like that. The best of the best. We talked about, casters. I want the best of the best. The same comes to the players, and Lil Bo is like he proven himself here to actually get himself to the finals. Because it's just imagine you have like 4 foreigners, and then they all get crushed in the first round, and then it's like, it's always the same story, just foreigners losing. True. But of course, like I would want more region luck for the WSS itself, but I wouldn't want to see like some handicap system where foreigners get in despite not having enough WSS points.
They could adjust the WCS point distribution. Like 4GG didn't make it, Jdong didn't make it, but Innovation, Polt and Hydra made it. So it wouldn't be like if you had like maybe like 5 or 6 representative from WCS because of like the inflated amount of points. I don't think it'd be too bad. But at least this year is going to be hype with Lil Bo. Rank 13. Some people think he should go to DreamHack to help his seeding, but instead...
I don't think that matters that much, to be honest.
Millennium is going to send him to Korea for a month. Do you think that's better?
I honestly don't know. It depends the situation. Like, if he's going into a team house that's already prepped for him, or his conditions are very good, then I feel like it's definitely worth it. But a lot of times when foreigners go to Korea, they don't have like the ideal setup, and it ends up being like huge stress. Maybe they have to like play at PC Bong for a week or two, and they just go through a lot of drama. So if he has everything set up and it's super nice, then I think it's a good choice. But if it's going to be like stressful and like hectic, I don't think it's a good choice, because I honestly think you get pretty good practice on EU right now, especially if he gets like a core group of people. God damn it, Morrow!
I'm sorry, I thought we were done.
Go on, Morrow. I think he's done now.
Okay, I was just I wanted to say, like, it's such a huge part, like player mentality, and I felt this myself when I went to Korea for the first time. Like, you get absolutely crushed no matter who you are the first month, and then it's like, oh, you go to Korea, you get crushed by everybody, and then you go to BlizzCon. It's like, even though you improve a little bit, like, your mentality is probably gonna be broken just from that. So I don't think it's a good idea to go to Korea for like a month to prepare for BlizzCon, especially like if you haven't been to Korea before, which I don't think Lil Bo has.
Yeah.
I also feel like he could get like a good like group of foreigners to practice with, like specific matchups.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so like let's say he plays like a Terran in the first round. I bet like if he asked a few Terran players, they would like practice the shit out of with him. Even Protoss players would probably help him come up with some like cool cheesy builds or something.
Do you think he stands a chance in WCS? BlizzCon? Like,
no.
I think it's gonna get crushed.
Yeah, I think he's gonna get crushed too. I think mainly because his playstyle is just the same shit over and over and over and over again. And these Koreans, like if they see that they play him first round, they're gonna find strategies specifically tailored to defeat, that thing. His build orders that he does over and over again. I don't think he has the depth that you need to go far in BlizzCon.
Mm-hmm. Right. Another thing is, like, we saw Lil Bo, like he won this, but like the brink of his fucking teeth. Like, he was close to losing to Hydra and Sunster, and he was even arguably pretty close to losing to Mana. So I think there is like obvious flaws already with his build orders and so on. If it's this close against like Sunster, Hydra, just imagine at like BlizzCon going up against, I don't know, like Dark, who has like can put the fucking week into preparing for these exact build orders.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't like give him high chances at all. He probably wants to face a Zerg player. Looking from his playstyle, I think facing a Zerg would be best for him.
Right now, he'd play Life unless Hydra made a really good performance at DreamHack Stockholm. Then he would play Hydra. That's how it's looking right now.
So it's Life for Hydra.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the finals before we move on. Like, is it just me, or it felt like both Lilbo and Mana played pretty sloppy? Like, there was always like mistakes on each sides. Like, for example, the Terraform game when Lilbo just tried to A-move the entire game, and then Mana just counterattacked with Stalkers and pretty much won the game from that point.
Yeah, but this is just another grand final. Like, even when we see Koreans play grand finals, like the players are, that's when the nerves really start kicking in. I haven't seen anyone like play amazingly in the finals, so I think it actually added to the viewing experience, at least, to see like this super exciting games, you know, base trades and just comebacks back and forth. Like, we wouldn't have that probably if these players were on top of their game. So I think I was happy that we ended up with some of these like crazy games in result of mistakes, rather than seeing like losses worse every time.
Yeah, it's honestly about, when it comes to finals or any matchup, it's not about like how well they're playing, it's like how close are they playing to each other's skill. And I feel like it was very close, and that's why the games were so good, or seemed so good. I was hyped, you know? There's a lot of moments where I was like, wow, this is really cool.
Yeah, the fucking game where the Coda game that ended up being
Oh,
like,
yeah, when he
you
ran
had
to the
like
Nexus.
all you had left was like one Nexus, and
Yeah.
Lilba realized before walking up that ramp that he had lesser army, so he had to like focus everything on the Nexus.
Yeah, the game
Just
was
im-
amazing.
Just imagine if, you know, like Mana just made a Nexus at like top right, for example. I know he didn't have time to do it, but just the smallest little things could have changed that game.
Yeah.
So it was really, really exciting to see. I thought Mana for sure would you know, win that, and then just Lilbao kills the Nexus, and it's like they zoom in, and Lilbao is just laughing his ass off. It's like you get to see all these emotions. It was really good finals.
Yeah. Just a little side note, Chris, I know you don't play much Heart of the Swarm, but ever since the Tempest got nerfed and we only see Colossus Wars, do you
I hate
like...
it.
Oh, you hate
I
it?
hate it. I definitely preferred when Tempest were better and it was viable, because there was like a lot of counters and, you know, cool things that could happen in the matchup, and now it's like very stale.
Okay. Interesting.
You get to see Tempest sometimes at like Echo, for example. I've seen some Korean games where they managed to get out Tempest.
I see. The final game was a bit weird. Dash and Terminal, it was just Blink versus Blink, and then Mana tried to attack, and then Lilbo had the better concave. I was at a Barcraft, and everyone was like, wait, so how did Lilbo win? Like, everyone was confused. PvP is funny like that sometimes. But the finals, all in all, was pretty good. Congrats to Lilbo, winning $30,000. There's been a lot of publicity around him winning WCS and making to BlizzCon from like the French government and like French newspaper and all of that stuff. So it's really cool that StarCraft 2 is still able to make waves despite her esports status.
Dead game.
I want to go out to say like this, WSS like really proved. I think it really proved our theory about, you know, more foreigners in the finals and so forth in the like top 8 or whatever. It's like this much more exciting. Like, we could see it in the viewer counts, we could see it on Reddit, just in the general chat. Like, everybody was so enthusiastic about this tournament, and that is like, you could definitely see the difference from the last finals. Even though we had like Bunny, you know, Showtime and so on do really well, like this was like extraordinary. So it further like pushes the idea that less Koreans in WSS is probably a good way to go about it.
I like how as soon as the cinematic was played, the viewership dropped from like 20,000 viewers. It was the same thing at the Barcraft too. In LA, there was like 600 people. It was super hype. As soon as the cinematic played, we were left with like 250, 200 people. But yeah, like that helped the viewership, the cinematic. But I agree with you. Like the viewership for this tournament was like very high. And even O Gaming had like their highest viewership ever. Just because Lilbo won, like they peaked 20,000 and their average was around 15,000, so it's really cool for them as well. Since and it shows like a strong local scene will give you great players like Marine Lord and Lilbo. So just gotta wait for Canada to get on board now, I guess. Right, right, Chris?
We had our time. Me, Scarlet. It's over.
What about
That was
Kane?
it.
What about Kane?
Not really. Can you put Kane on me and Scarlet's level? I don't think so.
What about Indralisk?
Yeah, maybe Henry.
Wow, you're putting Henry over Kane, you sellout. Yeah, we still have Masa. It's okay. We don't need Huck and Kane or Scarlet. But yeah, that concludes WCS Season 3. Crap, I should have looked at the Reddit thread to see if there was any question regarding that. Oh, the 4GG draw from Rewarded Full on Reddit. Was the pause too early? Surely anybody with a brain watching saw that he could have built a Cloak Banshee in just one. Edit. Obviously 4GG might not have known there was an observer or that Mana and no bank, but the referee paused before they had a chance to do anything and fuck about for a little while. Mo, did you saw that game, right? On
Yeah, I saw the
Iron
game,
Fortress?
but I'm gonna be honest here. Like, I wasn't watching the base trade too closely, so like for me, like I was almost, casual viewer in this case because I didn't know what the fuck was going on. So to me, it was like really surprising to see like the pause coming. Like I barely even realized if it was gonna be a draw or not before they paused and just called it a draw. Because I had questions like, oh, can this barracks up here? Can this be attacked by stalkers? Can Terran, pick off units? Can he squeeze out maybe a Cloak Banshee? Can Protoss make something happen? Like, I had all these questions, and before I got any of them answered, it just saw the pause and it was like over. It was just super confusing.
Yeah, I think Chris, like if there was like a player or organization, do you think like you would like get on the tournament admin for doing something like that?
I don't know what happened. I missed the whole scandal.
Oh, so like before the draw like was drawing out, they paused it and they told the players like, yeah, this is a draw. Like, do you agree to draw?
Was it for sure a draw?
No, there was some options for 4GG, but it might have
Yeah.
taken like 5 to 10 minutes to figure it out.
No, then they should have played it out for sure.
Yeah.
Like you should never do that unless it's for sure a draw.
Oh, apparently he didn't have the supply to make a Banshee, so maybe it's yeah. We'll never know, I guess. But it's a little bit of a controversy. Like, it was a really early pause. Maybe they were pressed with time and they wanted the show to carry on.
Yeah, that's
So-
probably what happened. Because they could have avoided all of this if they just had 2 minutes to sit down and we could see for ourselves why it's a draw,
Mm-hmm. Okay, hold on. I'm looking for WCS questions before we move on to the next topic. Okay, to Huck. Lilbo did a lot of quote-unquote cute plays at WCS. Hallucinated Archon versus Zenster's Ultralisk. Fast second Robo into a push with 4 Colossus without Thermal Lance against Hydra. The Nexus Snipe, good splitting of army considering the position of Mana's Mama Core charging the Nexus while it was still building. Do you think that this stuff could work against top-level Koreans? How well do you see him doing at BlizzCon? I know you already answered, but...
I mean, I think he could maybe make it to a round of 8, but I would be really surprised if he made it any further.
Okay.
I don't know what to say besides that.
Alright, and he said good luck with a Red Bull Archon thingy.
Thank you.
Alright, and okay, Mo, you can answer this one. WCS finals were beyond awesome, don't get me wrong. But do you think that there's a point to be made that as a spectator, one might prefer to simply experience the tournament rather than constantly being told by the casters, the analysts, and Shobra how incredible the storylines are and all that? I'm not against generating and raising the hype, I just found myself a bit saturated at some point. Comments?
Well, like I watch the tournaments with like Skyping with friends and so on, so I don't actually listen too closely to casting or analysis desk and so on. So I couldn't really give a real opinion about it. But generally, I would say no, because this like the one who wrote this comment is probably like a hardcore StarCraft fan, since he got himself to Reddit and all that. So most of us like hardcore involved, like we know the storylines, but you gotta like think of all the
newbies?
casuals or all the newbies who are like just watching because this like the event is hype, or they're watching because their friend recommended the event and so on. So you gotta like keep explaining to all the new viewers what's going on. It's the same thing. It's the same topic as like tasteless explaining why you build a bunker and like what's a supply depot and what's minerals. Like this is the kind of stuff you do just to get everyone on board, you know. So I don't really think it hurts the experience that much for us, you know, hardcore players and so on. And I think it, like a lot of these storylines were actually that exciting to be mentioned multiple times. That's my thoughts.
All right. The the Legacy of the Void. Sorry, it's just watching Huck play is funny because you make a lot of mouth movement. All right, Legacy of the Void to be released November 10th. So it was announced as soon as the cinematic played, November 10th, and actually it's the same date that was leaked a few months ago by GameSpot. So that was interesting to see, like, and I actually, like, I was at the dinner with Mike and Tim Morton, the guy that I always forget his title, but he's like the producer for the game, for StarCraft. And I told him, I'm like, you know, there was a leak date of November 10, and if tomorrow it's November 10, it'll be really hard for me to trust you guys. And he just looked at me and he like, well, I guess we'll see tomorrow, with the biggest smile. And then turns out it was November 10. But anyway, little anecdote aside, is it too short for the beta? Are we afraid?
I think it's fine. I think in general, the where they're going with gameplay is the right direction, and I enjoy the game. But it's like a lot of, you got to tweak numbers, I guess. Like the balance isn't perfect, but I like the direction that it's headed and where it is right now. Okay.
What about you, Mo? Like, do you think November 10th's too early? Are you happy with that?
Yeah, I think I'm like okay with that. Like I would have really liked to see some other like big stuff. It feels like all these macro changes are like being stressed right now, and I think it's really important that we get the macro mechanics down to where we want them. Because once a game gets released, they're probably not going to tinker with macro mechanics anymore. But like I'm overall happy, or pretty happy. Like I really like Chrono Boost, for example. I don't like where they're going with the mule right now in the latest post. And Inject, it looks like that's going to get fixed. But we didn't get to see like double harvest. We didn't get to see, you know, tinker with high ground advantage. There's like a lot of these, you know, wishes on our wish list that we wanted to see get tested. For example, double harvest. And we're not going to get to see any of that because the game comes out. But like Huck said, like the game is going in the right direction. It's looking pretty good right now. I don't really mind. It's like nothing like huge if they release the game like it is right now. I think it's like good enough. And another good side of this is that I think it was going to be like released one day after BlizzCon or something like that. And that's probably going to create a lot of hype. And that could be a reason around just releasing the game at this point. I mean, they know more about this stuff than I do. But this might, you know, cause more people to buy the game itself. So this date, they have probably thought about it a lot, and they probably think it makes a lot of sense. So.
Okay. I know, Chris, you wanted the game to come out this year. You like weren't gonna. You said like it can't come out next year. That'd be like too late. So do you still feel strongly like are you still happy with that?
I would have preferred it came out before WCS Season 3, but it's like it's hard to propose that knowing where we are in the beta now, because everything is still very unbalanced. And as Mario said, there's still things that I would like to see tested. There's no way they're going to get to double harvesting. There's no way they're going to tinker with high ground. I would be very, very surprised if they did any major changes at this point to any of those things. But even as it is, playing Legacy of Void now, whether it was this patch, last patch, or even the next patch, most likely, there seems to still be a lot of things that they should look into. So, I mean, I personally would have preferred that it was released before Season 3, but it probably would have been disastrous knowing how Legacy of the Void is right now and how much more it has to go.
Okay. I think one of the bright side of the game coming out very soon is that we're guaranteed a lot of like great patches because we're far from perfect. So that's the bright side, right? It's like it comes out soon, but they'll be working hard on it post-release to improve it and add a few stuff. There's a lot of details they haven't announced, like skins and so on. So that's scary and interesting at the same time. Like
Yeah.
we don't know where they're going with that because like automated tournaments, like what are the rewards, like.
I think if there was like a decent incentive for automated tournaments, I think that would help push the game a lot as far as you know, people enjoying the game and competing and having fun, because it's kind of soulless just to ladder, especially if you're not a pro. Like pros, we ladder and then we like think, okay, this will pay off in the future. But for your like casual player, they can't play with their friends that much. They don't really have any like way to see how they're improving besides moving up on the ladder. An automated tournament, something that's fun, but it depends, you know, what they do with it. Small like prizes, Blizzard money or whatever it is on Battle.net, but then it's all going to be translated to like Heroes or Hearthstone, not to StarCraft 2. So I don't know what they're going to do it, but I do hope they do have small incentives for the automated tournaments.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what a bit worrying to me, that we still haven't heard anything about, you know, skins, microtransactions, or anything like this. Like I love, you know, game design and all that part about one-on-one, but even I realize that what's outside the game of one-on-one is more important than actually one-on-one. And it just seems like if we just launch it like it is right now, then StarCraft 2 is not going to be huge. Like, we're going to get a small bump like Hardware Swarm, and that's going to be it. Like, they need to really dig into all that, like how games work these days, you know, microtransactions, skins, and all that. They should absolutely do that, and it's actually very worrisome that we haven't heard anything about it.
Okay. Well, hopefully we can maybe press Blizzard on official channels via Reddit and Battle.net forums to get an answer. Maybe they'll wait for BlizzCon. Maybe they'll wait for maybe TwitchCon. They said they were going to announce a few things at TwitchCon about StarCraft 2. So we'll never know until we do. And or maybe some of us will know beyond the scene. Something else that happened last weekend that Huck mentioned was the Red Bull Pro-Am. So I just want you to talk a little bit about it. Just a side note, Red Bull, you really need to get fucking on top of your marketing. I couldn't find the bracket after Googling for 10 minutes, and it wasn't on Liquipedia. I understand that it was more casual and not super serious, but I don't even know who's going to play. Because the Red Bull Pro-Am, basically, I think it was like the top 2 gets to play a show match in DC this weekend, so they get like flown out again, which I think is cool, but there's no list of like who managed to get that top 2. So Chris, tell us all about it.
What do you want to know?
Like, how did it go? Who did the best? Who did the worst from the pros? How was your experience?
Like I said, it was really fun. It was a chill event. Everybody, you know, just had a good time. Even me, it was really fun. Red Bull always takes like really, really good care of players all the time, especially at like their non-open bracket tournaments. And then even the amateurs were really cool. Actually, Ruff was apparently supposed to be an amateur, but he didn't show up out of disgrace or shame. I don't know. But he didn't come. Other than that, I don't know. It was just fun to hang out. The format was pretty cool. Basically, what they did was 2v2 Archon, and then there was 1 pro on that team of 4 people, and then 3 amateurs, and then the amateurs constantly were randomized, and the pros just stayed at their 1 booth. So every pro played against every other pro, and then they just had a collection of amateurs on their team. Yeah, I don't know. It was a really cool, fun event.
Do you know who finished top 2 to play the show match or whatever?
I don't know their like IDs or anything. No, one's a Terran player, one's a Protoss player.
So like Aryam or Moosegale or Henry didn't make the cut?
No, it's amateurs that get to come, not pros.
Ah.
2 amateurs get to come, and
so
I assume they'll do like
who was the best players out of the amateurs?
Like I said, I don't know.
Oh, I see. Oh, so like Moose and Henry got flown out by Red Bull for that?
Everybody, all the pros got flown out, put up in a hotel.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
So there was like what, like 12 pros or something?
Yes, and the pro that finished with the best record was Massa, and then there was 4 amateur players that actually tied at the end. So we had like a sudden death where all 4 amateurs were split into two at random, and it ended up being two guys from Arium's team, whatever it's called. What is it, Storm Gaming or whatever? Am I saying that right?
Yeah, Storm Gaming, yeah.
And then the other two were, I think, kind of randoms, but they got to pick the pros that they played with in the last match. So me and Arium got picked for one team, and then Masa and State got picked for the other, and me and Arium's team lost to those two guys.
Wow, you let those guys down?
Yeah, it's like a little bit of money too. I think like 250 each.
Yeah. What the fuck, man?
Yeah, I blame Arium.
Did you say like I'm sorry, guys, or?
I was busy yelling at Arium, but it was cool. We were talking like a lot of trash, barking at him. We got into like a little huddle and did like a little chant. Overall, it was just fun because everybody that was there was pretty good friends. You know, it was Kane, me, Moose Skills, Henry, Vibe, LotV. So we all just like joked around, had a lot of fun. We actually did a foot race between me and Moose Skills since he thought he was faster than me. I crushed him, obviously, and I don't know. It was just like we just joked around and had a good time. I guess it was really cool.
So how many viewers did this have?
Well, this is kind of skewed because I'm pretty sure WCS hosted them, but I think it maintained at like maybe 7 to 10K viewers.
Okay, that doesn't sound like a lot. Like paying 12 people their flights and everything. I don't know. Is Red Bull just that rich or what?
Red Bull is that rich, yes.
Okay.
All right, well, that concludes our topics for this week. There isn't much else. If you feel like we skipped a topic, you can always ask on Reddit. So we're going to get to the Reddit questions. It's not too late to ask a Reddit question. Here's the thread and the chat. Let's get to it, my people.
Did you get upvoted this week?
No, man, dude. We have like 40 votes and we have 7 points. You realize like people like it's their second job to go downvote my shit on Reddit, man. What do you guys think of the map pack from the StarCraft Map Making Association called Inaugural Map Pack in comparison to the maps on ladder right now in Heart of the Swarm or Legacy? Oh, well,
I have no idea what those maps are.
Yeah, that's like it's a pretty in-depth question. We didn't look at the maps. Yeah, that's, I don't know. Like, here's the link, I guess, if you wanna. Yeah. Shit. What did
I'm not gonna really look at all these.
I mean,
okay, so download this map pack.
Yeah, okay, so it's nice that they're putting effort and they're trying to be proactive, but with the timing of Legacy of the Void, I think it's a little bit of a waste of time right now because I think like when Legacy launches, they're not gonna use community maps because the timing of it is just too awkward. But it's nice that they're getting ready for.
Yeah, I always encourage new maps coming out. So like any new map, I'm more like it's just about staying fresh and having it be fun. So I definitely encourage this. It's really hard. The biggest problem with map makers is getting their maps shown and played at the highest level, you know? Because no pro is gonna just, or very small amount of pros are gonna like say, okay, sure, I'll take my time, you know, that's already very valuable to me, and you know, play your map just for fun. And you know, maybe it'll become a map, maybe it won't become a map, but either way, it's not really going to benefit me in any, you know, monetary or material way. You know, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah,
and then other than that, you got to like try to suck off Blizzard and hope that they look at your map and approve it. But that's a long drawing process too.
Yeah, very true. Mo.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Huck. Like, it's like, without even looking at the maps, I can tell you, yes, that map pool is better than the current map pool. Because the current map pool is terrible.
Alright, we have a really good question from Reddit. Is just me or Caloris quickly becoming the worst caster since Killy Milky's? Holy crap, all he does is say random objectives that don't apply to the situation. Marine Marauder versus Ling Bling, 5 units die. Everything is obliterated as the player try to obliterate their opponent's space by applying absolute chaos and crushing everything that is here. You guys like Caloris? You guys?
I mean, I think Caloris is a good caster when he's partnered with someone that's a little bit more passionate about the game. Caloris has a good voice, He's good at casting what's on the screen and using, you know, good words. He's a decent hype caster, but as far as in-depth stuff, obviously he's not a good caster, and that's why you take him and you put him with
Todd.
a pro or someone that is more in-depth. Yes, like Todd would be a good example. And that's common, you know, you have casters and you have certain attributes, and if you asked me a year ago or 2 years ago before I started casting more how good Claris was, I would put him like fucking close to dead last. Now I put him more middle of the pack because he is good in certain situations partnered with the right people.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Moral, is Zenster the king in the north?
As for the time being, yeah, I think so. I think he has been for a while.
You're playing with
Like-
fire, you know that, right? Soon you're gonna get blocked by
Yeah,
Nemo
but
on
like
Skype.
he won Swedish Esports
Oh, I
2
see.
times in a row, and it's not like Nanova or I or any other Swedish had like a crazy result in WSS. So,
I see.
and now he's had us. Now he is the king in the north for now at least.
Yeah.
But I think Nanova has a thirst to reclaim his position.
Yeah, you think he's got a chance at DreamX Stockholm?
Absolutely. Like out of all the foreigners, I think Nanova is actually.
Let's not forget
I mean,
that
I think
Whoa!
personally Nanova is really good. So I'm
Let's
really
not forget
ashamed.
that Zanster did lose at Base Trade Hyatt, I think less than a month ago, where he ran into the legend that is Huck, and Huck destroyed him 2-0. 2-1?
Yeah,
I can't remember.
what
2-1 or
did he
2-0?
do?
It was 2-1.
Just build stalkers or what?
No, Warp Prism. Dirty Warp Prism on that ramp force field.
Congrats.
He failed the IQ test as well.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Being that there are 2 Protoss players on the show, how do you feel about Mana's last 3 games? Did he outplay Petrius? Did Pet choke? Did he just guess and Protoss his way through the series? Did you? I don't remember watching that one.
Let me find the game. It was so much easier knowing what map it was.
Oh, yeah, very good point.
Who was it?
It's-
Petrius?
yeah, like Mana made a comeback 3-2 after being down 2 maps in the round of 8.
Cactus Valley. No, it's hard for me to remember that. There was so much CVP games this tournament.
What about you, Chris? Do you remember the Mana comeback?
No.
I
I
was
remember
actu-
the Little Bow comeback on Coda.
I see. I was traveling, so I couldn't watch it. All right, moving on.
Excuses.
What? My man. Huck, I don't know if you heard about it, but Richard Lewis is currently working on an esports player on union to solve all kinds of problem with events and organization. Today he published a video update mentioning he might have some one-time money injector to start the whole thing. I know you've been very vocal about players' right in the past. Do you think a player union across all games like Richard Lewis is trying to build can work? Would you support his work on this? P.S. He is mentioning he would like an ex-pro gamer to be the head of the union, so you would be the perfect candidate.
It's something that I have tried to do in the past, twice actually, and I've gotten a very, 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 very small amount of reward for the amount of work I put in. Biggest problem, obviously, yes, being money. You know, no one's gonna take time out of their day, work on something, you know, 6 to 8 hours a day, like a full-time job, to work on player conditions and, you know, go back and forth with multiple companies. Like, no one's gonna do that for free. So you need money, and then you need some kind of like help for players. Like, let's say CS:GO Dubai, no one wants to go because they're sketched out and they're not, you know, player condition wise, they're not up to par. It was a horrible event, and you're like, you know what, we're gonna just sit out on this event and we're gonna take everybody that is under our umbrella of this player union and they're gonna sit out. The only way you can do that is by having some kind of like monetary reward for doing that, you know, some compensation, you know,
You mean
don't
like
go
a
to this event
salary?
and
Oh no, I see what you mean. No.
Don't go to this event, and we'll cover a small percentage of what you maybe have won there. Every team's gonna always show up to every event, even if it's shittily run, as long as they can get some money out of it. So there's a lot of complications. The number one being money. So if he could get money injected into that union, then I say go for it. And I don't know. I definitely think player union is something that's needed. Throughout all the games. It's just money is the biggest issue of getting it started. I think if you went to any professional player that was coming up and they weren't big yet, like let's say Overwatch comes out and there's a player union in place, and then there's top 20 players, and they said, for you 20 guys, if you want to join the union, we're going to ask you to pay a union fee of $200 a month, which isn't month, but these are all the services we can provide for you, and they're already proven in place services that won't fall through. Then I think I would do it, and I think other pros would do it too. It's just getting to that point of legitimacy.
Very interesting response. Mo, are you bamboozled?
Huck has his shit figured out. But,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like you need a reason as a player to join, and some teams are probably gonna push the players not to join because they do want to send the players to shitty events and so on, not be restricted in any way. The organizations are not gonna like this union because they want to run their tournaments in their own way. So like nobody likes this union, but it is still a good idea, because like ask any pro player, everybody has their own different stories about getting fucked over, whether it be the city they go to or the actual event or the organizer, like they didn't pay us, or the monitors were fucking crap, my share was broken, like all this. You have all these different stories, and a lot of it could be avoided if you just if there was something in place that actually forced the tournaments themselves to put up better conditions for the players. It could be a win for everybody, but reaching something like this is very difficult, and I find it very hard to believe that this is something that's going to come around to take any effect within the next years. Even if he gets the money, it just takes so much organization to get this together. And another thing is what actual things could you force out of an event? Like some things that I really hate is when a monitor is just way too fucking big, or when they force me to play on a fucking gaming chair that just crushes my elbows because I like to sit a little bit different. Like these are the kind of stuff that I get really pissed about, but they're sponsored by this one monitor, or we have to use this dipshit chair and everybody has to use that chair. Like it's hard to ask tournaments to do this different kind of stuff.
Yeah, I can relate to bad chairs, man. Yeah. With the current state of the foreign scene, do you think we will ever see another foreigner in the GSL?
No.
Never?
I just don't see where it'd ever be worth it for a foreigner to live in Korea long term.
So alright, so WCS, it's clear from the past 2-3 years that the seasons are very sporadic, right? Like everything happens in a month and you have downtime. What if Blizzard and GSL and SSL got together and they figured out a really good scheduling planning where it would be feasible to attend and try to participate and play both? Do you think that'd be cool? Do you think that'd be very nice for the viewers as well?
I mean, yeah, but it's more about there's going to be so much travel. There's so many other events.
What if Blizzard told?
It's a hard travel.
What if Blizzard told the Kispa teams fuck you guys, every season you have to take in the best 3 foreigners, and
it's not going to happen.
Why not?
Ever. It's just not going to happen. It's unrealistic. I would be surprised if there's GSL next year.
They announced the parting 10 seasons in a row round of 16 award.
Yeah.
And then there's no GSL next year. It's why the fuck did they bother giving that parting award?
Oh, well, so why wouldn't there be GSL next year?
They got bought by Africa, so there's a lot of strong chances that they just cut the project. They
Wait,
just,
what?
like Africa, you know, like the not the continent, like the company, the streaming
Yeah,
company.
yeah,
They
the
bought
stream.
GSL,
Okay.
and so you know, they don't make a lot of they don't get a lot of viewers for StarCraft 2 on Africa. So they might have bought GSL for like the assets, like the studio, the personnel, like all their infrastructures and knowledge. And since they're not making a lot of money on StarCraft 2, they might just kill it.
Oh, but so they might do like GSL StarCraft 1 or
Yeah, yeah,
GSL League of Legends or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. They could do like anything else basically, but at least they have
Okay.
the.
Okay, so it's like very unlikely to have GSL next year for StarCraft 2.
Yeah, there's like a lot of rumors. It's not confirmed, but I mean, like if the financial decision would be to cut it.
But this means that Blizzard has more money to put into like Star League,
I guess.
Or
so
Heroes,
maybe we can have
or
just have
Hearthstone.
more Star League seasons.
Well, or it could be going to Hearthstone
Overwatch.
or Heroes or something else. We
Overwatch,
don't know.
WCS. You know, oh, by the way, I'm like pretty sure I'm the only one that caught this. You know, during WCS, there's like fucking like Hearthstone ads or Heroes ads or whatever. And they were like making the promotion for Prague, right? Prague, the road to BlizzCon, or for Heroes, for EU. And it says like Road to BlizzCon, and then there's like the titles of the games, like the little logos or whatever. There's fucking Overwatch listed there for Road to BlizzCon. So could we see like a promotional, like impromptu Overwatch tournament at BlizzCon? Could we see that? Chris, you have a good poker face if you know anything.
I don't know anything.
You look like you're dead inside. Yeah, but if you did, you'd have to look like that.
Yeah. I think it's like very likely. We already like in the BattleNet launcher. We already have an Overwatch
Yeah, bunch of teas.
thing, and it's like I think it's coming pretty soon.
Yeah. All right. Apparently, I was not the only one to spot that. Fuck you guys. All right. Let's see other questions on Reddit. What kind of Legacy of the Void releases does everybody expect Hope for to come out at BlizzCon? What, you mean like features? I don't know. We already have automated tournaments. I guess like skins is like our biggest hope. Would there be something else? Like maybe like automated clan wars?
I mean, I would love to see like a currency within the client. Call it whatever. Like you
Across
put in
the games?
You put in like no, like StarCraft 2. You put in like real money. You get this whatever make believe money, and you can like buy portraits, buy skins, or buy extra missions for campaign or like whatever. It's like that's what I want to see. I want to see microtransactions in StarCraft 2.
What about yeah, but the thing is, like, they didn't do currency for Heroes. They didn't do currency for Hearthstone. Why would they do currency?
They
for
have currency for Hearthstone.
Well, but no, but like when you put money, you don't buy currency. You just straight up buy whatever.
No,
like
but you buy card packs, which means currency.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, so you could get. I just wanted to be like Hearthstone. Like you could get like daily missions. Kill a building with a battle cruiser or whatever. You can get like these daily missions or like kill 40 Zerg units or whatever, and you get like more of this currency. So people have like incentive to play, because this is like what it's like. I play Hearthstone myself. I know it's huge. I know friends who just play Hearthstone and they just go in and do those like daily quests just so they can like buy a pack once a day or something like that. Like it's huge. They should work on that.
Well, maybe in the future. Maybe if we
maybe right now, because there is no future otherwise.
Oh. Wait. Can you elaborate on the balance in TVP right now? Taking your series against each other yesterday into consideration, would it be beneficial to hear both your opinions on that regard? Wait, who won?
Hack is winning.
Yeah.
Am I?
Yes.
After today, maybe?
Yeah, I think I won like 2 games.
Out of
It says the games you win in like 2 minutes, and my games are like 40 minutes where I win. So.
Oh, so I think Mo's win are more valuable, but go on. What's the balance of TVP?
Protoss has a high chance of winning if it's in the early game, and if they don't win in the early game, then Terran most likely are going to win in the mid or late game.
Is it because Liberators are too hard to clean up?
It's that, and then pylon rushes are pretty strong, and there's like really good timings you can do with blink/adepts. Yeah, so it's like bio/liberators and ghosts are very strong late game, and then if it gets to that point, most like I'd say Terran probably wins like 70 to 80%, and if it's early game, then Protoss have a very good shot of winning, probably 70-80% by doing like cheesy pylon rushes or adept timings or adept and stalker timings.
Yeah, exactly. Like pylon rushes in combination with the strength of adept in early game, like almost makes the matchup unplayable. There's like it's obviously broken and it's gonna get nerfed, but once you get past that, we get to see Terran in like once you get like mid to late game, like adepts. They're like roaches. They don't do anything anymore. And then we see, Terran in his full strength. And that's the timing to win. But then it's like, I'm not sure in like super late game who wins, but I'm pretty sure Protoss wins again there because they get the Tempest High Templar, which is a combination that I think is unbeatable. But like if you get to mid to late game as a Terran player, you just make sure you attack and finish the game before Protoss gets this like a lot of Tempest, a lot of cannons, a lot of High Templar, stuff like that.
Okay. Interesting. Huck, any counter arguments to what Moro said?
Not really. I feel like the changes that they're proposing for the Adept will help a lot with this. Basically, what they want to do is make it less tanky and more damage. The problem with the Adepts right now is that they're so exact at killing the early units of Terran. So they two-shot workers and they two-shot Marines. If you add damage to them and reduce the shields mid and late game, they'll relatively still be the same strength when you calculate like upgrades and everything like that. But they're obviously a little bit too good in the early game. So I like that change, and I feel like it won't kill the Adept going into the mid or late game, but it will make them weaker in the early game. As far as pylon rushes, I feel like it's not as broken as people think it is. It's only when Terrans like play really greedy or do certain build orders where it's good. Because as much as I've won with it, it's kind of like live by the sword, die by the sword. I've lost plenty of games as well by going like a bunch of pylons and then it just ends up doing nothing and then I lose the game. So it's almost like almost the same thing as a cannon rush. Sometimes it's going to pay off and you're going to win a game off of it, and sometimes it's just going to completely suck and then you're going to be going into the mid game at a big disadvantage. So.
Cool. Sorry about... Alright, next question. The cinematic got me thinking about all the nameless units that fight to the death. If you were a StarCraft 2 unit actually fighting in an army, which would you be and why? For example, I'd be a Stalker because I can just be a bitch and run away with blank every time.
I would... let's see here. Which unit never dies? Maybe I wanna be like the guy driving the Tempest. Like those don't die, right? They're like far away back, can shoot down some stuff, and the whole Protoss army is gonna protect me. So that's probably what I wanna be.
Alright, what about you, Chris? Which unit would you like to be?
Would like to be?
Yeah.
I don't. You go first, and then I'll.
Well, I relate a lot to the Archon because I get stuck often, and it's really hard to get shit done sometimes because of my tiny arms. But as to be like a badass unit, I think like a Reaper would be so much fun, man. Like, of course you die early, but like your life is such a roller coaster of emotion and actions.
You like to live like YOLO.
Yeah, buddy, yeah.
I really don't know what unit I would pick. It's a difficult question. I feel like I would need to think about it a lot, but...
Just pick one.
Dark Templar, I guess, maybe?
Oh, you can be a Zealot. When the Zealot dies, he doesn't die. He gets warped back to Ire. Right?
I don't know. I guess.
I think that's how it is.
Get put in a Dragoon.
Yeah,
Go back to
exactly.
StarCraft 1 days. Be warped
Yeah.
into the past.
Oh shit! I changed mine to Celt.
Alright, next question. I missed a few weeks and I'm confused. Mo is a host now? And why no guest? Well, Mo is actually a wonderful host, and we love him very much. We invited him. As for the no guest, I tried to get Xanster, and then I tried to get Vibe, and then I tried to get LotV, and like none of these worked. I also tried to get Lilbo to come on and do a call-in, but I think the money got to his head or something, and he's busy with hookers and blow. And I think we covered it all. I think we covered it all. We're gonna do very slow shoutouts because there's a slim chance that Lilbo might call in.
No, we will not do very slow shoutouts.
What do you mean? Like, what's your like? Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
It's a strange question.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Stop trying to buy time. Get to the shoutouts, fuckboy.
All right, Mo. What are you up to next? What are your plans for the next week?
When's Stockholm?
Are you not going?
I
am going. It's I think in like 10 days or something.
Nice. Get to see
Yeah.
Hater.
Yeah. Oh, we are?
He's gonna come, yeah.
Oh, that's sick. I'm so excited.
Oh yeah, you're good friends of Hey Pro, Mo?
Yeah, good friends. I'm a big fan. Long time fan.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, he used to live with us in the Bromma house, the Swedish pro house.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Was he messy? Was he nice?
He was very well. He was Hader. Not sure how to explain him. Anyway, I'll be streaming. I'm not sure how much I'm gonna practice for DreamHack Stockholm. Like I'm probably gonna just die to a Korean anyway. So, and I'm having so much fun with Legacy, losing to Hux, Pile, and Rushes every game and all that. But yeah, good show. I might be streaming tonight. We'll see about it.
You're gonna go make a steak first?
I already had a steak today. Unfortunately, I ran out of that. It would have to be pasta bolognese. Yeah.
All right. What about you, Chris? What are you up to next?
Well, right after this, I'm gonna go exercise, and then I will as well be streaming tonight. Tomorrow morning, I actually leave to go to DC, and I think the tournament is actually on the 19th is when we play. So make sure to cheer for me and MC versus the other 3 teams. I think we have a pretty good shot of winning, especially if the next patch hits before then.
Yo, by the way, we didn't talk about the tournament at all. Do you think you have good chances?
I just said I believe me and MC have a good chance.
Oh. Go on.
I feel like both our play styles are very similar. We've known each other a long time. We're pretty good friends. We see eye to eye on builds and stuff. And right now, Legacy is such a not figured out game that there's a lot of builds that you can come up with where, you know, if you're not prepared for them or you don't know what's coming or you don't know what to do, you just pretty much auto win games, whether it's like, you know, the Ghost Scan build that QXE and Beastie Cutie did, or the War Prison build that we were using in Santa Monica, or, you know, other things. There's a lot of things where you can just flat out win a game as long as you execute.
Yo, they haven't announced the prize pool.
I think it's something like 40K.
Oh, nice.
So it's a lot of money.
So when was that tournament?
It's on the 19th.
It's this weekend, Saturday.
Ooh.
And
do you think you have good chances?
Yes.
Do you know if it's best of 3 or best of 5?
I'm not sure on the format. The way that I saw one picture of the bracket, and it was us, me and MC versus Bomber and MMA.
Yeah, that's
and
what's
then,
listed on Wikipedia.
But I'm not sure if it's like double elim or what's going on. But I feel like we have a good chance, especially if, like I said, the patch hits before the thing comes. But we'll see. Okay. And then other than that, I don't know if I'll be on the show next week, but if I'm not, I'll be going to obviously DreamHack Stockholm.
Okay, cool.
That's it.
All right.
And Desro, what are you up to for the next week?
Yeah! All right, so tomorrow's my birthday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, I'm gonna be 27, man. It's a little bit sad. So I was thinking of doing like a drunk panda stream, and then I was thinking of doing a 24-hour stream, but then I think I'm gonna settle on a 12-hour stream and just have fun, play Legacy, maybe get GM. If
I don't feel like that's worth it.
12 hours.
I feel like either 24 hours or nothing. I don't feel like anybody's gonna get hyped for a 12-hour stream.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, because people love to see other people suffer. It's like a thing. 24 hours. It's exciting. You know, they actually stay up for 24 hours playing. Wow, that's cool. 12 hours. It's like,
So if
you
people
play games all day and then you went to bed. Like, who gives a shit?
What if I turn on like the heat and it's like 50 degrees in my room, and people watch me suffer?
I would watch that. If you
Why
like,
would you want to do that on your birthday?
if you were sweating profusely, like you're playing like inside a sauna the whole day for 12 hours and you're like dying, yeah, I would watch that.
All right, so it's the next evolution in the Twitch era. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching the stream. Short episode, lots of good topics. Lil Bo was too tired to come on the show. Maybe before or after BlizzCon we can convince him to get on. But yeah, thank you again for these wonderful people for joining me this week. The show will be up on YouTube at some point, and we'll see you guys next week. Oh yeah, my man.